Welcome guys, this is another tutorial on basic programming language. In this tutorial we're going to look at coding. All those things we learned in our first lesson, we are going to put it into practice in this lesson. It's going to be a fun ride and it's going to be a very beautiful tutorial. I expect you to put down your paper, put down your pen and jot some things down. And if you cannot jot anything down, under the description of this video I'm going to provide a link whereby you can download all the codes that we will write in this particular tutorial. Now this tutorial is more of like you critically thinking on how to solve a problem. Like when you learn a programming language, those programming language you learn, then you have to make use of it. You have to do some manipulation. They may give you something to do whereby you are going to use a particular programming language to do it. That is what we want to do here. We are just going to look at basics under this thing. From this basic, you'll be able to build up on it to form a complex problems or to solve complex problems. So let's go. Now the first thing we're going to look at now, we are going to look at program. We are going to write a basic program to add two numbers together. Let's start from there. So I told you earlier that you have to start your program with a line number. So I will say 5 rem. So rem is just like a comment to tell the person reading your codes to that this is what your program does. So we have addition of two numbers. Now next thing is 10. That is the next statement. Now in this I'm going to make this program interactive. That is, it will accept input from the end user. It's going to allow you to type something from the keyboard and you press enter, you see your result. So now we are using two numbers. I said we are adding two numbers together here, so we need two variables. So I'm going to declare two variables here, but the way I'm going to declare is I'm going to allow the user to enter the variables by him or herself. It's not something I'll just declare that I'm the owner, the user, the programmer just declare it straightforward. So you can type any number you want as the first number and the second number. Then when you add up them, you get different answer or anything the same answer if you type in the same values for your first number and second number. So the input to allow user to enter a value, we use an input statement. So input keyword. So input. So you can say enter the first number. So this first number, this is just a test. What am I going to save inside it? What is the variable that is going to contain the first number? So I will use camel case. So first number, this is what we call camel case declaration of variable. We have camel case, we have snake case, we have Pascal case. So this is first when you the small letter will be the first word. If you have like two words, instead of putting if I put space there, this will not declare. It's an error in variable declaration. So I can't do something like this. So I have to make the first word small letter. Then any other word that is any other words that will follow this first word, it must be in capital letter. If I say first number series, I have to type this also. So this S has to be capital letter. This is how you declare a camel case. The snake case, it depends on what you want. You can use another method of declaring your variables, no problem. Then we have what 15. So it's gonna be input. You can use capital letter, can use small letter, no problem. But to make it interactive and clear, so say enter the second number. So same thing, second number. Then what am I going to do now? So let me put the addition of first and second number. Let me put in a variable called sum so that I can add them up. So sum is equals to first number plus second number. Because it means any number the person enters here as first number, any number the person enters here as second number is gonna add them up. If it's 1 plus 1, it's going to add 1 plus 1. It saves it in a variable called sum. So you can now print this sum now. So 30, I said print. So what am I going to print? Sum. So let's run this. Let's check it together. So First number, let me say first number is 4, second number is what is 5. When you enter, you have 9. You can see it won successfully. You can also enter another number. Let's say first number is 100, second number, let's say, is 55. That should give us 155. This is it. So this is the first, our first problem. Now the other one, I want you to try this on your own. So you're going to write a basic program to multiply two numbers. Say this one is multiply. Pause the video, try it on your own. Let me see how you go about it. So multiply of two numbers. So instead of now, what you're going to do here is that you are just going to change what is here. So instead of plus, it's going to be what times, like asterisk like this. So then I'll make this multiply. So it's not going to be variables of sum again. It's going to be what multiply for readable sake. So multiply. Sorry. So shift F5. Let's run this. So the first number, let's say the first number is 6. The second number, let's say, is 7. 6 times 7 is 42. You can see it won successfully. So that is that under that one. Now another one is that I want to find the average of 3 numbers. I want to write a basic program to find the average of 3 numbers. So you can pause the video, try it on your own. Let me see how you go about it. So average of 3 numbers. Since I'm using, since my variables here, my input has to be 3 numbers, so they must add another parameters here. So I can say input. Let me Control C. Let me copy to save our save time. So let me make this one 17. So just put Control V. So this is going to be entered the third number, because the when you are valuing the average of 3 numbers. So when I value the average of 3 numbers, you are going to add the numbers together, the 3 numbers together. You are divided by 3 because there are 3 numbers. If you are finding the average of 4 numbers, you add the 4 numbers together, you divide it by 4 because there are 4 numbers. So what I'm going to do here is that this one's going to be the third number. So third numbers, small third number. So what I'm going to do now is that I'll just say sum. I can add sum here. Let me change this to sum. Sum first number plus second number plus then this is going to be third number. So now what am I going to do now? That the average now, I can just say average equals to, then it's going to be sum divided by 3. Now in some cases students to make a mistake, someone just say, okay, let me divide this by what, let me make it 3. Like, let me just use, instead of writing this statement here, I can just say average first numbers plus second number plus number divided by 3. But this is syntactically wrong, in the sense that what this thing will do is that it will follow the rules of BODMAS. It will divide this third number by 3 only, not everything. So divide it by 3 only. Once divided by 3, it will now add it up to this and this, which we get something different. But if I want to make it more brilliantly, I can just put brackets here. So when I put brackets here, it's going to add all these 3 numbers together, because it's going to follow parentheses first. The one in bracket, it will sum them up, then divide the answer by 3. But I want to make the program more readable and more suitable for you. That is why I have to declare an average also. So you see what I'm saying now. So an average, so let me print my final answer. Let me print it. So I can say it 35 print. So let me print the sum and the average, so you'll be able to calculate how everything works. Sum and what? An average, no problem. So let's run this. So let's say the first number, let me use first number 2, let me use first number 1, second number 2, third number 3. What do you think the average will be? 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 divided by 3 should give us 2. You can see this is the sum is 6 and the average is 2. But it will be more beautiful if you can put here sum is equals to this and average is equals to 2, which we are going to look in our next. We just you are getting there. I just want you to like, this is just like, it's more not readable enough like this, but we can still do some little things to it. Now next one is that let's write a simple calculator. Yeah, a simple calculator in the sense that you can add numbers, you can subtract, you can divide, you can times with the simple calculator, you can do exponents, you can do modulo. So I want you to try it also, that you write a program that it will accept 2 inputs from the user. first number and second number. It depends on the sign you put there. If you put times between them, it's going to give what? It's going to multiply. If you put plus, it's going to be more. It's going to add. If you put minus, it's going to subtract. So I want you to try it on your own. So pause the video and try it on your own. So program. So simple what? Simple calculator. So simple calculator. So enter the first number. So what's going to be here is that I'm not going to enter the third number because I'm just composing between two numbers. So let me cut this. So in this place now, I'm going to enter the sign. So let me make this one 12 here. So let me paste this here. So input, enter the sign. Enter the sign. So when you enter the sign now what I want you to know here is that the sign you enter here is not going to be, this is how the variable, we are going to declare the variable. You can put sign here, sign, then you put something like this. The reason why I put dollar at the end of this is that that sign is a variable. It's just like a character. It's a variable. You can't, all this first number and second number, they are integers, they are numbers. So you don't have to put dollar. I know I was explaining variables for you. These are string variables. When I was explaining string variables, just like a word or a character, I said you must put a dollar at the end of your statement to signify that it is what? It is string variables. So that is that under that one. Then what you're going to do now is that I'm going to make a condition. So the condition will depend on what the person typing as sign. If it's plus, okay, do this thing. If it's minus, do this thing. If it's this, do this thing. Do you get that now? I think you're getting the logic there. So I'm going to do something like this. So I think I don't need this. I don't need this. Did I need this? No, I didn't. I need this. I need it. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to make an if condition. And the if condition is that if the sign, let me make it capital letter so it will be readable. If sign, that is, if what the person enters there, if it's plus, let's check. If sign is equals to, if sign is equals to plus, so what do you want to do? I want to add the number, then print. So print, let me just make it beautiful here. Print, so I can make it in a string. Addition. I'm just telling you some things that addition is just of the two numbers is, so let me make it like this. Then I can say first number plus second number. So what's happening here is that, okay, let me not complicate matters for you. So what this man is doing, because when you do that kind of thing, sometimes you may get error on your, but I will show you how you can get something like that. So when you move on to more complex program, we start using that, not all this one. I'll just display the answer only. So make our code readable. So this is what you're going to do. That is, if the sign, if I put, okay, if the program asks my first number, I put in the first number. It asks me the sign between them. I insert plus. If it asks me the second number, I enter the second number. Then it's going to make a check. The sign that I put there, is it plus? If it's plus, it's going to add them up. So let's do for multiplication, division, and subtraction. So you're just going to be a copy and paste code. That's what you're going to do. So this is going to be what? Let me just copy. So as to save us time, let me copy. So it's going to be, this one's going to be Control V. Let me paste. If the sign here, if it's what? If it's minus, so I'm going to first number minus what? Minus second number. Let me make it readable. So it looks fused together here. So let me make it readable. So first number plus second number, then minus second number. Then if the sign, make it 35. Control V, let me paste. Sorry. So if the sign is what? Is times. If it's times, that is there. What do you want to do? First number times what? Second number. So let me put space in between this. Let me just copy this one so that I will not be entering the space again. Control C, copy. So if the number, if the first number, let me say 40, Control V. If the number is what? If it's division, what do you want to do? First number divided by what? Divided by the second number. Then there's another one again. What of raised to power? Yeah, let me say just 45. So if the first number and second number, if it's power, if what I put there, if what I insert is this, so I'll use the first number raised to power with the second number, like 2 raised to power 3 or 2 raised to power. Then the last one now is modulo. Yeah, modulo. So let me say 50. Control V. If the sign is modulo, this is modulo in any programming language. This is how you use modulo. This is modulo. This is modulo. But in BASIC, we can't use this thing as modulo here because BASIC doesn't recognize this as modulo in his own compiler, his own interpreter. So this is going to be mod. You use something like this as modulo. Modulo means remainder. For example, if I divide 5 divided by 3, 5 divided by 3 will give me 1, it will remain 2. So my answer will be 2. That is what modulo does. So next thing is that now, let me, for every program, if you are done with any program, put semicolon. I'll show you what this semicolon, what it does. So semicolon allows you that, okay, since the condition is true, it is this answer, this is the condition, the sign you put there is minus, then this program will terminate, then it will stop. It will stop terminating, it will stop running. So everything is what? It stopped there. At the end of what? End of of that particular statement. In some programming language, you use semicolon, like JavaScript or on C programming, semicolon to terminate the end of your statement. So next thing is, what do you want to do? I think we're done with everything now. So let's check. Let's run this together and let's see if we are right or wrong. So Shift F5. Let's run this. First number. Let's say first number is 6. Second number, the sign there. Let me put plus. Then second number is 5. 6 plus 5 is 11. You can see it's run successfully. So let's run another one. Let's say we have 4. The sign there, let me put caret. Then let's say the second number, let me put 2. That will be 4 raised to power 2, right? 4 raised to power 2 is 4 times 4. That is 16. So you should get 16. You can see. So let's look at modulo. As I said earlier, let me look modulo. Say, let me put, let's say this one is 5. 5 modulo 3, right? Let's say I put modulo percentage. Now I press enter. Then I press what? Let me put 3. 5 divided by 3 is 1. We mean that 2. So I should get 2. You can see. If I even use division also, I will get the same thing. Division, for the first number, let me first number is 8. The sign there is a slash, then divided by what? Divided by 2. That is what? That is 4. So this is a simple calculator. You can make it more advanced by adding out to what sign of a number, cosine, all these things. So that is that under that one. So let's move on. Now we're going to move on to these basic levels mathematics. There are some formulas there. I think I don't need all this. I don't need all this. I think I will need. Okay, let me. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to look for. Let me just delete this. We're going to be using those formulas in mathematics a lot. So that it will be easier for you as a student to calculate things without when you have this particular pocket program in your class. Some of you that have laptop, that use laptop a lot in your class, your teacher says you do something and you know the steps you have to take. Then with the twinkling of an eye, you've gotten the answer. The teacher will be, wow, how come? How did you get this? Even if it's a big number, they still find the area of a rectangle with length, let's say length 5,677 and breadth 8,002 and something like that. So you're able to get you'll be able to get the answer without even stressing yourself and using calculator. So in this program now, I'm going to write a basic program to find the area and perimeter of a rectangle. So we can do that. So perimeter, area and area of a rectangle. And you have to know the formula. That is the first thing. So area of a rectangle is length times breadth. That is length times breadth. And perimeter. Perimeter is 2 open brackets. Perimeter of a rectangle is P is equals to 2 open brackets L plus B. So this is what? This is the formula. So with this formula, you should know the parameters you need, the variables you need. So the variables I need is length and what? Length and breadth, because this place contains L and B. So you can come here, say enter the what? Enter the length. Enter the length. enter the length. So here, to make my code readable, I'll use length instead of L, but no problem, it depends on what you wish to use. Or let's use L. No, I want to use length, GTH, length. Then what next is what? Input, enter, small capital letter, enter the breadth, so shift semicolon, then the breadth here will be what? BREDTH. So that is that. So next thing is that we are going to what? We are going to look for the area. Now you can now see that area is equals to, that is length, because you do not use, assuming you use L here, you will use L here, but I use that anything that the person, any length, any number that the person type as length, it will be stored in a variable called length. So I cannot use L because it's length I use there. If assuming I change this thing to L now, if I use L, so I'm going to use L here, but I use length, so let's change it to length. So this is going to be what? This is going to be length. So length times what? Times breadth. That is the area. Then the perimeter also 25. So perimeter, you can pause the video and try it on your own. Perimeter is equals to, so it's going to be 2 open bracket, I want to show you something, length plus breadth, right? That is what is what the formula says. But this thing will not work. Why? Because there must be, like, we know that this thing between 2 and bracket is times, but we have to explicitly state it to basic that it should be times. If not, basic will go, it will throw an error to you. So you just put times there. This is how you're going to do it. So now let's move on. So next thing we're going to do is that we're going to what? I'm going to print the perimeter. And I want to state that if I print both of them, I say print area, print perimeter, the person that entered those values may not know which one is area, which one is perimeter. This is the first step of writing a readable answer to your end user. So your end user will know that this is what this is what the other one is. I'm going to do some small thing. It should be print. Let's say print. Let me say perimeter here. I'll just perimeter. Now you can know that this perimeter here, this one is in quotes. It's not actually this perimeter. It was ordinary string. That is, the perimeter will just print on the screen, PERI, just like string. Then I can now print the main perimeter. Print perimeter. The next I can even do this. Though I should not be doing it, but I will show you just a simple step to make your code readable to the end user. Print area and make it in quotes. Print area. So I can now use then 50 print then area. Now it's an area. There must be the same quote. So double quote. Let's run this together. Shift F5. Let's print, enter the length. Let's say the length is 5. Enter the breadth 6. What do you think the answer will be? Our area should be 5 times 6, which is 30. And our perimeter should be 22. 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 times 2 is 22. Let's check. Perimeter is 0. Area is 30. What is wrong? Something is wrong somewhere. There is a bug in our code. Perimeter. Oh my bad. I did something wrong here. So it should be perimeter. So let's check together. So perimeter, area and length is 6. Perimeter is 5. Let's check together. You can see it ran successfully. So this is how to look for that. Now I'm going to use this program to find I'm going to show you another way of writing this. Instead of just print, it looks monotonous and horrible. So why can't we make it beautiful more than this? Now what we're going to do is I want to look for the area of a square, and perimeter of a square. The area of a square is length times length, because area just a square has only all the sides are the same thing, so they are all lengths. There's no breadth in area. And the perimeter also is that you're going to add up all the fourth side. That's going to be L plus L plus L plus L. That is 4L. So the perimeter here is 4L. That is 4L. Just 4L means 4 times length. That is it. So I don't need this perimeter. I don't need this this breadth, because there is no breadth in a square. So the area now is going to be length times length. That's what I'm going to change it to. Length times length. Then the perimeter is going to be 4 times length. 4 times length. Length. So I don't want to do this again. It's horrible like this. So why can't I make it like this? I can say print perimeter perimeter of the square is so this is what we're going to do. Perimeter of the square is, then you put a semicolon, semicolon, then perimeter, then you put a, I will show you how these things work. Don't panic. Oh my bad. So this is going to be the area of the square is, so semicolon area. Now what is happening here? Now what this thing is, that this thing will, let me remove all this, I don't need all this again. Well, what this thing is saying is that perimeter of the square, this will print as a string on the output terminal on your interpreter. It print that perimeter is, so this is a value. So anytime you have a value combined with string, you have to put a semicolon. Just in other programming language, you can use a dollar and a curly bracket, like JavaScript. In Python, we use a curly bracket to enclose our variable that contains the value. If you are printing them with string, do you get that logic now? So we call it formatted string in Python. I think in JavaScript we call it template string, something like that. So it's telling that, okay, this thing we printed on the screen, the perimeter of the square is, then it will not check, it will look at this semicolon will allow the value here, the perimeter, the answer here to be printed with it. So then also, we are not printing only this one command, that means I want to print other things entirely. Then I will continue again, print this string again, the area of a square is, then now print the value of the area, which these semicolons allow you to print the value of the area. If not, you have a bug in your program. So let's run this together. So enter the length. Let's say my length is 5. You know 5 times 5 is 25. 4 times 5 is 20. So let's check together. So we said the perimeter of the square is 20, which is right. 4 times L, that's 4 times 5, 20. And the area should give us 25. You can see the area of the square is 25. Now this is more readable and more explicitly stated for the end user or someone that is running your program. Now that is that under that one. So I want you to find the what you want to use this. You want to calculate another one, writing a basic program to find the area of a trapezium. And the formula for the area of a trapezium is 1/2 times, open a bracket, a plus b, close the bracket, times the height. So I want you to try that on your own. Let me see how you go about it. So I'm going to enter the formula here, the area of a trapezium. So the area of a trapezium, A equals to 1/2 times, so you open a bracket, A plus B, then times what? Times height. So A plus B is the parallel sides. Yeah, the parallel sides, the up one, and the height is what is H. Now I'm going to need 3 variables here. I'm going to need A, I'm going to need B, I'm going to need H, which is the height. So I can say enter the side A, side A. So I will allow her to use small a here, so it will be easier to follow along. So I'm going to copy this, just see, paste it here. So enter the side, Ctrl V, then here also I'm going to copy this, Ctrl V. So enter side A, this is going to be enter side B, and this is going to be enter the height. So when you enter there, now this one's going to change to what? To B. This is going to B, and this is going to be what? Height is what? Is H, based on the formula we're given here. So the area now, so you can say 30 area equals to, that will be 1/2, 1/2 times, you open a bracket, A, you can see programming is very easy. Once you know what you are doing, A plus B times H, that is the height. So what I'm going to do is that I will erase all this. I don't need all this because I'm printing only the area. So the area of the trapezium, so you change this to trapezium. trapezium is, so this is the trapezium B. Oh, sorry, I don't have to put it back. You see now, it's very easy. With this, we calculate any area of a trapezium. There's an error somewhere. Okay, we use the same line number. Sorry, oh my bad. Same line number. We shouldn't do this. So let's run this. The program is yelling at us. Let's say side A. Let's say side A is side A is always small, 4. Side B is 5. Then the height. Let's say the height is 3. Let's check. What do you think the answer will be? 4 plus. Let me put 2 here to make it easier. 4 plus 5 is 4 plus 5. Though you can't have this height. Let me make it 6. Sorry. 4 plus 5 is 9. Right? Very good. That is A plus B. 9 times 6. 9 times 6. I think that is 54. 54 divided by 2. That should give us 27. If I'm right. So we should get 27 as an answer. You see? Beautiful. The area of the trapezium is 27. So we can use any area. If your teacher give you any parameters for area, instead of now stressing yourself, let's say your teacher said this one is 42 and this one is like 56, and the height is, let's say the height is like 30. So before you use calculator to do this, you get something. But with basic, you are done with anything that you're doing. Now we're going to extend this our program to find the area and perimeter of a square. Of a circle, sorry. Area of a circle. What's the area of a circle? The area of a circle is pi r squared. Pi times r squared. R is power 2. But you can use r times r. It's still the same thing. Then the circumference and sorry. Oh my bad. And circumference of a circle is 2 times pi times how? 2 pi how? That is circumference of a circle. So what are the parameters I need? I need radius, I need pi. So pi is a constant, and pi in mathematics, pi is 22/7. So it's a constant. So what you're going to do here is that I'm going to enter the radius here, enter the radius. So I'll make this one r, small r. Then next thing is that you'll be wondering that, okay, enter the, I should write enter the, what do you call it, enter the pi. But since pi is a what do you call it, is a constant, so I don't have to enter pi. I have to use it straightforward. So 15, I can say pi equals to 22/7. This is going to be is a constant, so I have to declare it here. I don't have to enter it. So what I'm going to do now, the area is going to be pi times r radius, small r squared. So let me change this one to r, big R. So then the perimeter now, 35 perimeter, don't know why, like, is equals to 2 pi r. So it's going to be 2 times pi times r. This is how it's going to be. So the area of the circle, perimeter and circumference is the same thing, but some people may be confused. So let me put circumference here. Circumference. Okay, I'm right. Okay, I'm right. So the area of the circle is this, and comma the circumference of the circle is then what we're gonna do here, semicolon, then circumference. So let's run this. Let's check. In the same thing, line number, problem. I didn't check this very well. So 35, this is going to be 40. So let's run this. So enter the radius. Let's say the radius is 7. What do you think the area will be? Now 22/7 times 7 times 7. That should give us, I think that should give us 154. Yeah. But the perimeter will be 2 pi r. That is 2 times 22/7 times 7. That should give us 44. So let's run this. Wow, we get the answer correctly. Yeah, beautiful. So you can, if the teacher give you, even if your teacher give you radius as, sometimes they'll give you 3 over 1 over 2, something like that. That's 7 over 2. 3 over 1 over 2, that is 7 over 2. 3 times, so let's say the radius is 3 over 1 over 2, that would be 7 over 2. Or they say 3.5, just 3.5, same thing with 7 over 2. So with this, you get your answer straightforward without complementing things. So that is how that works. So that is the area of what, of a circle, and perimeter of a circle. So let's move on now. We want to extend this code to calculate the area and perimeter of a sector. Yeah, especially SS1 student, I think a second time work on the mathematics. We have the circle something, circle, yeah. Perimeter, area of a circle, perimeter of a chord, area of a chord, perimeter, perimeter of a segment, area of a segment, length of an arc, all those things, circle something. So you can use basic to also to make your life easier, your mathematics solution easier. So once you know the formula, I think you guys know the formula. The area of a sector, the area and perimeter of a sector, sector. So it is the formula is the angle over 360 times pi r squared, pi times. Don't worry, don't make this, you are just like scared of what is this man writing. So the formula is the angle given, they'll give an angle elapsed by the circle over 360 times pi times r squared. That is the area of a sector. And the perimeter of a sector, perimeter of a sector, perimeter, it is 2r plus length of an arc. Perimeter is 2r, that is 2 times radius, 2 times radius. I'm using small r, let me use small r here, plus length of an arc. Length of an arc is the angle given, the angle over 360 times 2 pi r times the area, the perimeter of a circle, 2 pi times 2 pi times r, 2 pi r. So this is the formula for the area and perimeter of a sector. So I need the radius, that one is done. I need the pi, that one is done. Also, there should be an input, one input here, which is the angle. So input. So it will be what, enter the angle. So you can enter the angle, semicolon. So let me just put angle here, or A. Let's make it A. No, angle is okay. Angle. Now the area will now be what? What's the area will be? The area will be what? The angle over 360. Angle over 360 times what? Times pi is times pi times r raised to power 2. This is the area of a circle. This is my bad. Something is doing here. Okay. Now let's go. So this is the area of a sector. So the perimeter of a sector now, it changes to perimeter of a sector. So the perimeter will be 2r, that is 2 times radius, plus this 2 pi r, 2 times pi times r. This is the formula. So once you get this formula, then the area is the area of the changes to circle, not circle now. The area of the sector, and the circumference, not circumference now. The perimeter of the what? Perimeter of the sector. So this is it. So the perimeter of the sector. So it changes to perimeter. So let's run this. So enter the radius. Let's say the radius is 7. The angle, I don't like the way this angle is. It's too fused together. So you get it. Now this is the answer. When you use a calculator, you get the same thing. There's no problem about that. So that is what that is that on that area and perimeter of a sector. Now, next thing we're going to do now is that we are going to write a basic program to calculate the area of a triangle using Hero's formula. Now, if you are given a triangle that has three sides, you have to find the area of that triangle. You are going to use what we call Hero's formula. There are other formula you can use, but Hero's formula is most common, and in schools this is it gives students lots of problem. But if you have this program written by you, then which your teacher just give you the three side with the program which you have make it interactive. You just enter your A, your B, your C, then you get a value without twinkling of an eye. What will take the teacher 5 minutes or sometimes 4 minutes to solve, with just a seconds you solve it. So using basic program. So let's now look at the formula towards to it. That's the first thing you have to know. You have to know the formula. You have to know how to do things. What the person gave you to do, how you want to do it. That is the first thing you have to know. So it's not a magic. You cannot know if you don't know the formula, you can't solve anything. You have to have an idea of what the problem at hand. Now, the area of a triangle using Hero's formula. So we can use perimeter. Perimeter is you add all the three sides together. Perimeter is equals to I think this three sides, so that is what A plus B plus C. That is the perimeter of a circle of a triangle. We are given three sides. The area of a triangle using Hero's formula. The area of a triangle is this is the formula. The formula goes that square root it'll be what? Square root of x, open a bracket, it'll be x minus a, close the bracket, open a bracket, s minus b, then s minus c. This is the formula. Now you have to, how will I use this formula in my program? Now, first thing is that you have to get this s, because the three sides you are given is a, b, and c. But what is this s? That is the main thing. The s is the average of the three sides. I mean the division of when you add the three sides together, you divide it by 2, not the average now. You divide it by 2. Let's say that's the mean or what. So you divide it by 2. That's how to get s. So I'm going to need 3 variables here, right? The 3 variables are enter the side A. So it's going to be small side A. Then enter the side B. Enter the side B. It's going to be small b, right? So we still need C, right, also. So we still need C. So let me make this one 14. Input. That's why I said it's very good to use big range in between. So if you want to enter any other statement, you just manipulate things. But I'm using 1, 2, 3. I have to cancel and start writing again. Enter the side C. The side C, then semicolon, then C. So next thing you're going to do now is that you need s, right? So I'm going to say that my side S, can you capital letter, small letter? Let me use small letter. S, sorry. S equals to, it's going to be A plus B plus C. Because you want the 2 to affect all of them, you put everything in brackets. If S, you're going to get problem upon problem. So S over what? Over 2, right? So what of perimeter? So I can look for perimeter here. I can make this one 20. So perimeter equals to, I can say S divided by 2, right? This is right. Mathematician now. S divided by 2. It means, you know, our S is over S. S divided by 2. I can say S times 2. Since I'm adding up together, it can't be S times. That will be S times 2, right? But no, because the program, this tutorial is for both those that understand math and those that does not understand mathematics. So I'm not going to make this thing complex for you. So just add the A plus B plus C together. That is it. But mathematician, you know what to do. Now let's look for the area. Now let's now input this formula in our area. Now what you're going to do now is that you are going to like use inbuilt function, which is square root and basic. So it's square root. This is the inbuilt function. You can see the sign will change automatically. You can see you can see that the color changes. It means an inbuilt function. So our s now, let's now input the formula x, right? Now I told you earlier that you must put times there. Else your program will get a lot of bugs there. S then times. You see, this is gonna be s minus a, close the bracket, times, right? Open a bracket, s minus b, close the bracket, times, right? Open a bracket, x minus c, close the bracket, and you end the whole bracket. Do you see how it works now? So the square root of everything here, then multiplication of this thing, which will be s minus a, s minus b, s minus c. So this is gonna what? We have gotten this. I think we don't need this. The area of the triangle is this, and the perimeter of the triangle is this. So this is how it's gonna be. But I don't want to make this square root. Let me just use this. Let me take this off. Because square root of everything, this is an inbuilt function. You don't need times in between unless you are multiplying something outside. So you don't need times. So let's run this. Let's say the side A, the first A, let's say the 7, you are giving 7, let's say you are giving 5, 6, 7. So 5, 6, 7, that should give us 18. 18 divided by 2, that is 9. 5, 6, 7. Now, it will add up them up. 5 plus 6 is 11, 11 plus 7 is 18. Then s will now be 18 divided by 2, that is 9. So now minus 9 times 9 minus 5 plus times 9 minus 6 times 9 minus 7. So we should get our answer as area. You can see this is our area and this is our perimeter. I told you that perimeter is what is 18. When you add up the three sides together, then this is our the area of what of the triangle. If you want to do this with manual method, writing this, calculating, it takes a lot of time. But with this, if you've written this program once, then I can use anything for my a. My a here, I can make my a to be 8. Sorry. What am I doing? Come on, boy. So it's 1 from the terminal. I make my a to be 8, my b to be 9, and my c to be 10. So let's check this. 10 plus 8 is 18. 18 plus 9 is, so you should get my final answer. Perimeter is what? Is 27. Then 27 divided by 2. I'll get this. If you're using manual method, you know the hell that used to take you. But it's basic. Within 2 column and high, with the seconds, you'll solve it. But let's check a condition here. What are we saying here is that you want to check a condition if this particular thing is 0. Now, what if this square root, this thing, if what is here now, if what is here, if for example s is 0, it means everything here will be 0. Do you get that now? What I'm saying is that there are some times whereby if they give you an invalid triangle, 3 sides, that probably one of the sides, when you divide it by 2, you get like 9, and one of the sides is 9. It becomes problem because 9 minus 9 is 0, and 0 times everything will give you 0. And we cannot have this. Sorry, what am I saying? I said if you have a negative number as square root of negative number, you get an imaginary solution. That is the answer you cannot get. It means when you add up the 3 sides together, you divide it by 2, and one of the sides is bigger than s, then there is a problem because this will give you minus as an answer. So a minus of a negative a square root of a negative negative number is an invalid number. So that is more of like is a problem. So it has to be like an invalid triangle. Let the program display an invalid triangle because the sides are not in correct order. So let's look at condition to solve this. So using an if condition, I can just say, let me make this one 6. We want to improve the program. rem using an if condition to check if our area is valid or invalid. If our triangle is valid or not. Now this is when I'm going to use what they call an if condition and the relational operator. So how am I going to do it now? I'm going to declare a variable like check, something like that. Now this check is going to be here. What this check is talking about? So I'm going to make something here. Let me make this one 17. Let me just say check here. I'll tell you what it means. Check is equals to, let me just copy this. Let me copy this. I want to check this because this is what I want to check. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So this is where the checking is going to be. If something is this and if something that, if what is here, if it's negative, then it should print an invalid triangle. But if it's positive, it should one up this particular thing. So that is what I want to do. So I'm going to say, now I cannot change this square root here. I can put check here since I've declared it that check. Or let me make it, if it does not want, then it will want, it should surely want. So I can put check here, check, square root of check. So if square root of what? Square root of check is this. So now I can now work, I can make my condition. So area is going to check, and I'll come here, make the condition. Let me say 35. I'll just say if check, just if the check is less than 1, just if it's less than 1, if it's less than 1, if it's negative number is less than 1, if it's less than 1, then print, what should it print? Print what? This is what? This is what is an invalid triangle. This is an invalid triangle, right? This is what should print. Then you terminate it, you end it, as we're not doing anything again. But if let me start 6 here. If check, there are better ways to do this. If check is greater than 1, is greater than 1, then print what? Now print what? You print the area. So that's what we do. Print what? Print then print this. We should print this. Let's take this there. We should print this. This is what should print on the board. Ctrl C. Sorry for all this. Ctrl C. It should be Ctrl X, but no problem. Then print. So it prints this. So if the check is greater than 1, I just if it's 1 greater than or equals to 1, we cannot triangle that is equals to 1. If it's greater than or equals to 1, then you should print this. But there's another one again. So finish, terminate this statement. Then if last one, if what of if is 0? If it's 0, it should be what? You can't have a triangle that have an area of 0. Is it possible? Not possible. So if check is equals to 0, then print the area of triangle is not measurable. Let me just put it measurable. Maybe mathematician has solution to this. If the area is 0, you can calculate it, but I'm very sure that if the area is 0, then there's a problem. You can't have the area of a triangle to be 0. Now what I'll do, let me just explain myself again. You know how this works here. So this check is talking about, you put this thing s times s minus b. So if perimeter is this normal perimeter, the square root of check is telling us that no matter what is the square root of that thing, if the square root of this thing here, if this check, if it's 1 now, square root of 1, you should get the answer. But if what is here, after you type everything here, if what is here is less than 1, if this one is minus 1, and to come here to put minus 1, square root of minus 1 is an error, or minus 5 in number. So let's run this together. So let's say the area, I'm going to make it area, everything will be 0. So how am I going to make this now? So I should let me just use side A as 9. I want to make everything 9. When you add them up, it will give us 9 as our 18 as when you add them up together. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So 9 minus 9, one of them will be 0. So now let me make this one. I want to make everything to be 18 now. So I have 4 and 5, Abi. 5. Let's say this is 4. So 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. It means our s is 9. And when you are subtracting 9 minus 9 is 0, it means it will make everything to be 0. Do you understand me now? The area will not be 0. So let's check. You can see it said this is an invalid triangle. The area of the triangle is not measurable. What is wrong? It's printed this also. If check, then print this is an invalid. If check is less than 1, oh sorry, if check is equals to 1, because less than 1 is also 0. That's why if check is equals to 1, then print, no, so if check is less than 1, if it's less than 0, programming. If it's less than 0, that is minus something, so it was a mistake. Let's try it again. You have 9, you have 5, you have 4. You can see now, the area of the triangle is not measurable because you get 0 as an answer when you calculate this with your manual method. But if it's negative, but if everything goes well, if you have like the one we did earlier, 5, I think 5, 6, 7, right? 5, 6, 7, we should get normal triangle. That one works. It means this statement here, it works. Let's now check this statement, invalid triangle. How can we make this to minus? Let's check. Let us make our s to be smaller than others. Okay, I'm going to make it 18. So I'm going to make this one 10. Let me make this one 10. So I want to make everything 18, right? So 10, that's we have 4 plus 4. Let me make 5 plus 3. 5. 3. Now this will give us minus. Reason being that, 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18. That's this perimeter will be 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So when you might use this 10 minus a, that will be 9. S minus a, that will be 9 minus 10, which should give us minus 1. So minus 1 times all of them, it should make everything negative. And square root of a negative number is what? It's invalid. Is that what? Float invalid operation. Okay, I think this will give us, you have to find a way to make it a positive number, a positive integer. So you can use that, you can calculate that with your calculator. Because what is here is that it's going to make it like let's look at something. 10 5 15 plus 3 18, 10 plus 5 15, 15 plus 3 that is 18 divided by 2. Error, float invalid operation one time. There's something that is wrong here. I think the problem is coming from somewhere. Let's check. If less than 0, then print invalid triangle. Is there anything wrong? Let's make this one times. No, this is not work. But something is wrong with this invalid triangle. If it's 0 less than 0, it's less than 0. I think something is wrong here. Okay. If check, I'll get back to you. I'll make my research on it. Why is giving me error? Should give an invalid triangle. I don't know why it's displaying this is less than what? It is less than 0. This is mathematical syntactic error. Maybe less than minus something. Let's minus, maybe it's minus 1 point something. That's why it's giving. But this should work. It should work. It should work. I don't know why it's not working here. No problem, we'll see what we can do about that, but you understand how these particular things work. Now next thing is what? Program to find what the simple interest and compound interest of if I could solve this thing before something, I will let you know what is actually wrong here. Why, if it's less than 0, why is not printing invalid triangle? It is minus, because what the parameters I enter, the A, B, and C, it should give negative sign. So probably something is wrong somewhere. Now let's go. Now to save ourselves time, let's move on to a program to find the simple interest and compound interest of something. Now in your lower basic level, you're taught on simple interest and compound interest. Now the most tedious part for students is the compound interest. Simple interest is very easy. Just P times R, principal times rate times times over 100. Very simple. But the compound interest, you have to, in compound interest, you have to calculate the amount for the first year. You had it, amount of the second year. After everything, you had everything minus from P, something like that. But there's a particular formula for, like, I think it's SS3, something like that. There's SS3, yeah, new comprehensive mathematics. The particular formula for calculating compound interest of of an amount of something given principal, rate, and time. So I'm going to use that formula so that we can get the simple interest and compound interest. Now simple interest. So simple interest is, the formula is I equals to simple interest, I equals to PRT over 100, right? If I'm right, and the what? The area of a the area, simple interest and area of compound, and the compound interest. So the the formula for compound interest is the formula is P compound. Let me make it compound interest, CI. That's not what I'm going to make it into something. So it's P P times, that is principal times, you open a bracket. Are you there? So you open a bracket, it's going to be 1 plus R over 100, the rate over 100, close bracket, raised to power of the time of t. Then you now minus everything from what? From P. That is the formula for compound interest. So you can check, Google it, it will say the reason why is that. So let me move this. I don't need this again. Yeah, I don't need the parameters I need now is I need the rate, the time, and the what, and the year. So enter the what? I'm going to change this to enter the what? Enter the principal. So I'm going to make this one capital letter P. Make it P. Sorry. Principal. Hey, principal. So this one, enter the what? Enter the oh, what's showing me? So enter the rates. Enter the rates. So this is going to be rates R. Then enter the time. Time in years, because if you are given a month, you have to convert it to years. In years. So it's going to be T. Okay, T. So this is going to be simple interest. I'm going to use Kamekais. Simple interest equals to P times R times T. Everything over what? Over 100. Over 100. Do you get that now? So we don't need to just check. Let's look for the compound interest now. Using this formula, we have compound interest. Compound interest equals to, so we apply this formula there. Can I just copy and paste this thing? Copy and paste this to avoid time. Time is very important. Ctrl V. I think this is right like this, no problem. It should work. So let's print the simple interest area. We don't need all this. Now I've deleted those things. Come on. So I'm saying print the simple interest is, then semicolon, we have what? Simple interest, comma, then the compound interest, the compound interest is semicolon compound interest. So let's run this. So principal, let's say the principal is 1,000. The rate should be just use 4, and the time in years is 2. What do you think this will give us? This should give us 10 times 4, 44 times. That should be 80 as principal. So principal is 80 and compound interest is what? 81.6. This will work. Yeah, this works. You can use manual method and calculate this. You get your answer. Now, the next one we are going to do now is that we are going to write a basic program to find the to check if someone is eligible to like drive a car. If you can drive a car, I think in Nigeria they said you must have a driver license for you to drive a car. You must not be underage, more than 18 years to drive a car. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. So we can use this is when we want to use all this comparison operator, like your and or and not. Can we use that? That okay, if someone does not have a driver license and the person is an underage, then you can't drive a car. But if you have this, if you are underage, if you are more than 18 years, that is, you are an adult and you have a driver license, you can drive a car. So that if someone walk into our store, or someone walk into maybe the FRSC, Federal Road Safety Corps, and he puts it in he or she is asked to put his information there. If it's 18 years, less than 18 years, and he or she doesn't have a driver license, then the program should yell, oh, this particular person cannot drive a car. Something like that. So we don't need to like start screening. From the form they will provide for you online, on the internet, when you fill this information, immediately, sometimes they use JavaScript, they will tell that this thing, after everything, you may just, there's a like a, when you open the website, there is something that you must click like status. That just means it will ask you that you enter your age and enter if it's driver license. It's going to be it's just going to be like what I call it, a checkbox. Did you have driver license, yes or no? If it's yes, you click on yes. And if you are 18 years, if you are more than 18 years, 18 or more than 18 years, then the page will now appear where you can fill up your form. That is how logical something works in programming. It's not everything is just magic. That is what they do. So let's now use this basic also to program something like that. You can use it. So now what you're going to do here is that program. I want you to pause the video and reason. Do it on your own. Let me see how you're going to get it. Program to check if someone is eligible to drive a car in Nigeria. Great country. Now what we're going to do now is that, so we're going to enter the age. I think we need parameters enter the age. Now driver license, is it yes or no, right? So driver license, enter do you have a driver license? Okay, driver license. This one's gonna be a variable, right? I know, right? So yes. So something like this. Driver license. Let me put license. So it's gonna be a dollar like this. Dollar like this. Sorry, dollar like this. License. Now make a check. If this age, let's make this check. If age, if the age person, let me put this age here. Let me make age here. If age is greater than or equals to 18 years, the person is an adult. I'm going to use and operator now. And license, dollar sign, license, license. Sorry for the wrong spelling. License. I think I'm right. Okay, I'm right. And license is equals to, I'm using JavaScript. Is equals to, let's say it's equals to yes. Is equals to yes. Maybe that means yes. Okay, yes. License is yes. I have to put dollar sign here. Dollar sign. What is this now? Dollar. License is equals to yes. Then print. You are eligible to drive a car. Now, but what of if all these things, if this thing is not correct, so if they are not, let me just use, let me copy this thing. I want to show something. Let me copy this thing. Let's check if Control C. Can use that method. If not, is it not? Is it gonna work? What is not? I think not. It's giving me. No. Let me just say okay. If age, let me use normal. If age is less than, if it's less than 18, if it's less than 18, and license, I should be able to use laptop. I don't know why the sign is not changing. That's why I'm scared of using it. Resume license is not equals to 11, not equals to, I think, is this something like this? Can I use this? Not equals to, let me just try, I'm just trying it. Not equals to yes, then I just hope that not equals to work. Print, you are not eligible to drive a car. Okay, let's check something. If this will run, if it will run, and if it does not run, we will solve it together. If it does not run, we will solve it together. Okay, should check for it. Run. Oh, something is wrong. I know that this thing is wrong. License is not equals to yes. Okay. If license is not equals to, what is not equals to? Okay, let me use not here. Not. Hey. Okay. So how are we gonna do this now? It's not equals to. So what I'm gonna do now? A license, if age is less than 18, and license not yes. Because not, it's not even yes. What of it depends on it's yes or no. If a license, okay, a license equals to, let's put no here. You have to like find a way. That's why basic. If it's other programming language, we're thinking of an high, it's just something that's very easy. So, but basic is basic. So this program is not readable. But once you understand basic, believe me, other programming language will be very easy for you to understand. But basic always force you to do things the right way. You have to like, if you don't miss it, and it will display an error, it will not show you where the error is. It will show you where the error is, but it will not tell you that this is the error. I don't say about basic, but if you can debug, you can do things on basic, complex things on basic. Believe me, especially Python will be just like a piece of cake to you. Because it's just like things that you find difficult to do in basic, you see that it's a breeze through in Python or JavaScript. So, but JavaScript, hey, if you try it, no problem. I'm still going to move there. Don't worry. So the age, let's say the age, my age is 17, and I type no, no. Let's check. You are not eligible to drive a car. You can see now it ran successfully. Let's now look at if I'm 18 years and someone click, I type yes. Yes. What do you say? You are eligible to drive a car. Beautiful, right? What if the person mistake? No, but it's the status, what the web will develop, will display is either you click on yes, it's not going to be a checkbox. It's going to be like, I've forgotten this box. So there's a particular box for it, whereby if you click on one, it should take the click from another one before you can click on another one. See, I can't remember. I know it's not checkbox. Checkbox allows you to click multiple something. So if you click yes, the program now, it's not go to that. The logical thinking will be done by the back end. So that this particular person clicks, okay, enter your age, you click, you type more than 18 years. So it will now, the logic will be at the back end. So to display either the form for you to fill will be displayed, or another message will be displayed that, okay, you are not eligible to vote. So exit the application. So this is how logic work in programming. And it's all this logic that programmers make at the end of a particular program to give you what you see now, those solutions you see, those things that you just see. You render a form, you ask for a particular thing in your database, display on your screen, you make an if condition, if someone is a user, if not a user, if it's a staff, if it's not a staff, all this kind of thing. So that is how basic programming work. Now, the last one, the next one we are going to do now is that we are going to write a basic program to solve quadratic equation using formula method. SS1 students, your first term work in mathematics, will be asked to use quadratic method to solve quadratic equation, which my students will call almighty formula. What is almighty there? Nothing almighty there. Come on, guys. So it's just it's a true value. It will give you two values. Now, either the x value will be two values. Sometimes it will be one, just like a real solution, or something like that, imaginary and all this discriminant something. But most times it give you two solutions. So how can you now use basic to solve this? That if your teacher just give you a quadratic equation, you just enter the value for a, b, and what, and c, then your answer is there. Just like, teacher, this is it. Before the teacher solving with the seconds, just wow, you're a genius. But you can use basic to do this. You can use basic. So let's now look at it together. So our program is going to change now from solving what program to what to solve program to solve quadratic equation using formula method. Okay, and the formula method is x. It's going to be two value for x. X is equals to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared okay, minus 4ac minus 4ac 4 times a 4 times a minus 4ac. Let's use the formula direct. So people to do by themselves. I don't know why I'm laughing. But it's over what? Over 2a. So this is the formula. Everything like this, we divide it by 2a. So what is now 2a? What's all this a, b, and c? Mathematics with wahala. What's all this one? Now, let me show something. Now, if you are given your formula, you have 2x squared. They give something like this. Let's say s squared. Maybe this is what they give you. This one is s squared, but you can't get s squared like this with basic. S squared, let's say plus 8x. It can be p minus 5. It can be p squared minus 8p minus 5. Now, if they give you something like this in quadratic in your school, maybe they ask you to use quadratic formula. Now, there's what you could use in the quadratic formula. This a, b, and c. What are they? The first number at the front of x squared is a. In this one, there's an invisible 1 here, so 1 is your a. Your b is the number at the front of x, so here b is plus 8, or you can call it ordinary 8. Why c is the number standing alone? And number standing alone without x or anything is minus 5. It's not 5, because this minus is for also 5, so it's minus 5. So that is how you get that. Do you get it? Okay, if you get it, that's beautiful. So now let's start coding now. So next thing is what? Input. So we enter the value of a, right? Of a, semicolon, then small a, right? Small a. Let me copy and paste this to save us time. To save, Ctrl V. So this is going to be 20. Enter the value of b, small b, then 30, Ctrl V, enter the value of c, right? Capture it as c. Sorry, c. So it's gonna be c. Now, next thing is what? The area, right? So the area. So in this now, you have no is plus or minus. It means your answer has to be two values. Then you have to do for the plus and for the minus before you can get it. So you can say 40. You can say x1. Let me make it x1. Let me calculate that. X1 equals to, that is the first value and the second value. Because of this plus or minus, there's not a plus or minus in basic like this. So you have to enter the formula one after the other. Find the first formula, the second formula. So I'm going to copy. Let me just copy this. If it will work, I will copy it. I like copy and paste. Ctrl C, So Control V. So I know this one here is going to be plus or minus. The first one is going to be plus. Let me make this thing square root, capture that so it can be, I can differentiate it from others. Square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2. Everything here you are dividing by 2a. So it's not ordinary this one, because what you do is that you divide all this one by 2a. So I have to divide everything by 2a. So that's the formula. Let me put it in brackets. So everything has to be divided by 2a. So you can recall that there must be times here. If not, it will not work. 2 times minus 4ac over 2a. b squared minus b plus or minus plus, this is plus, times 2 over what? 2 times a. Then 2 times a then s2 50 s2 equals to Control V. Now this is where I'm going s2 Jari is equals to, now instead of plus here it should be minus. That is where the or comes into place. So I can now print system print my answers, my solution are semicolon, semicolon. So we have x1 comma s2. Let's run this. Oh, what is wrong? Hey, input s1 minus b. Something is wrong. What is wrong? Now, basic. So let's tell you something is wrong, but where that thing is wrong, we will not know. Minus b. Also, it's minus 1. Let me use. Once I use that, you're using minus b. You can't use it straightforward. You have to use that minus to multiply something. I can use. It has. You can't have minus b, minus letter. But normally what should be here is that it should be minus anything you type here. But basic is not seeing this like this. You have to explicitly state it. I can use minus 1 times. It means minus 1 times b is still minus b. Do you get that now? That is the logic behind it. So this one also be what? Minus 1. That is why basic. Come on. So let's run this. Okay, it's 1. So let's make a to be 1, b to be let me make b to be 5, and c to be 6. What's the answer? So we have minus 2 and minus 3 as your solution. So you just answer. This means the first one is minus 2, the second one is also minus 3. You can try any formula, any quadratic equation. Try with this thing. You get it right. It will be very, very right. It will be right. So that is that under that one. Okay. So next thing we are going to move to now is that we have to look for what if this thing is like we did earlier. Like if this thing particular thing is what if is 0. You can't find the square root of 0. Yes, you cannot. If your value here, if what is it? If it's 0, what if it's 0? If it's if it's 0, you can still find the square root of 0. If it's minus 1, if it's less than 0, if it's less than 0, so you should get an error. Do you get that now? You should get an error. If what is there is less than 0, you should get an, because you can't find the square root of 0, square root of negative number. I said it, so I can copy this thing and make my condition. What we do here is that, okay, we've put this down, so let's move on. So I can just can pause the video, making a condition. Let me just put rem here. So I like condition a lot. It makes things easier for you to know what you are doing. Rem checking if the discriminant, we use discriminant for that thing. Discriminant, we are still going to move the discriminant is less than 0. What I'm saying is that if this is what they call discriminant, this thing here is discriminant. I can copy this thing, Ctrl C. Oh, sorry, Ctrl Z. Can copy this. Sorry. Discriminants, I would say 35. Discriminant D equals to, so I'll just paste this there, b squared minus 4ac. Do I even need this? I don't need this bracket. It should work because it follows the rules of, so I can now change this thing, what is there, to d. This one also will be also, no, it will be what? It will be d. Is also so this is clear now. If I'm right, this is clear. So let's now check our condition. So if the d is what? If the d is less than 0, what do you want to do? So we make the condition here. So if this d, let me make it 36. If d is less than 0, then print what? No solution for this equation. An imaginary solution. No solution. You can't get the answer. Solution for this quadratic equation. So once you enter it, before your teacher even calculate it, you have known that there is a solution, there is no solution. So let's run this together. So if how can I make this turn to be 0? Let's check together. Let's check. I want to make it to be 0, so that everything will be 0. This d will be 0. B squared minus 4ac. B squared. If I make b to be 0, 0 squared is 0. 0 minus 4ac. 4 minus 4ac. Okay, let me make this. So, if this thing is 4, if this b here is 4, 4 squared is 16. If I make this one also 4, right? If I make a to be 4, a and b to be 4, a and b to be 4 and c to be 1, I will get 0. So this condition will print. So because 4 times 4 is 16, 16 times 1 is 16. 4 squared also was 16. 16 minus 16 is 0. So if I make a to be 4, b to be 4, and c to be 1, I should get 0. A is 4, b is 4, and c is 1. I should get an invalid. Your solution are minus 8 and minus. What's happening? So doesn't 1. So let's check. B squared is 4 times 4 is 16 minus 4 times 4. Oh. B squared 4 times 4 is 16 minus 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 1 is 16. 16 minus, what's wrong? Minus 8. No. If d is less than, then what is wrong? So b squared minus 4ac. Let's run this. Shift F3. So let's say a. Let me use 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 1 times 1 is 4. 4 minus 4 is what? 0. Let me use a. A is 1. Let me use a1. B, let me use b as 2. And let me use c as 1. This should give us 0. What is wrong? Something is wrong. B squared minus 4ac. There's something wrong somewhere. This means the solution is, we did as wrong. This thing is not giving what I want. So, only my b, 1. B is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 is power 2 is 4. Then 1. Wow. Something is wrong with this thing. If d is less than 0, it means 0 is less than 0, then it should print no solution for this equation. It should not print this. This one is d, prints my solution r. I don't like what this thing is giving us. B squared minus 4ac. We must solve this. We must solve this together. So there's an error in this particular code. B squared minus 4ac. Sorry. Oh my bad. 2 squared is 2. A and c should be 1, 1. Let's check again. Hey. A is 1. B is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Right? 4 minus c is what? C is 1. This will give us, my solutions are hey. What is the error here? The error is coming from somewhere. A times c Okay, let me put brackets here. Okay, oh, let's check. That is program for you. This is 2. No. No solution for this equation. Okay, I think that works. Let's check again. That's what I'm trying to say, because you have to solve, you have to guess your answer. Let's say my b is 2. 2 raised to power 2 is 4. So my a is 1. Let's say a is 1, and b should be 2, and c should be 1. I should get 0. I should get less than 0 here. Okay, sorry. Oh. The mistake was from me. You are right already. No, it's 0. You should get a solution. Yeah, it's 0. You should get a solution, because square root of 0 then over 2a, you should get minus b. This one will be different. I was thinking it was less than 0. B is equals to d is equals to less than 0. What I'm calculating was is equals to 0. Program just, I guess you guys understand what I'm doing now. The one I did then, if it's less than 0, let's check to make this thing less than 0. Let's say we have b to be 4 squared, 16, right? B? Let's say 16. Let me remove all these brackets. I think I don't even need this. It should work now. Come on. That is programming. You have to like think. Where is the error coming from? Where are the errors coming from? My logical thinking. So b squared, like let's say 4 times 4 is 16. I want to make this one bigger than 4. 4 times 5, 20. 20 times 3 is 60. So let me make this b to be 4. The other one will be more than 4. So let me make this one be 4. Let me make this one 5. 4 times 5, 20. And make this b to be 4. 4 is 16. Let me make this one 3. You should get an inverted triangle. You can see no solution for this quadratic equation because it is negative. The d is less than 0. So that is that. So we're going to what? We are going to meet in our next one. Very sure. So I want to like use the knowledge of that quadratic to check discriminant. Now I made mention of discriminant in the earlier the one we did that quadratic. Now in SS1 first time further mathematics, they will ask you to solve discriminant if it is a real solution, if it's one real solution, if it's two real solution, if it's one real solution, if it's an imaginary solution. Imaginary means if you cannot get the answer for that particular quadratic equation, or if your answer will be 2, or if your answer will be 1. Do you get that? Do you get the logic now? So we are going to use the knowledge of quadratic to solve this. So our REM program is what? REM program for discriminant. Now for checking the value of discriminant. So if the check if it will be real solution, comma one real solution, or imaginary solution. Just put solution like this. So if it will be two real solution, it will be two. This if it will be two answer, one answer, or if you not get the answer at all. This is what it means. So according, we are going to enter what the values. What? So you what? Enter input. Sorry, input. Enter the what? The value of a. That is small a. Semicolon small a. 20. Input. Enter the value of b. So semicolon b. Then 13. Input. Enter the value of c. So enter the value of c in this, then semicolon, then c, small c. small c, then type this. Now 40 now. 40 is now, you are going to use your discriminant formula. So discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. That is d is equals to, let me use capital letter D, equals to b squared, that is b raised to the power of 2, b squared minus, we did this one the other time, times what? Times 4a times what? Times c. This is the formula, b squared minus 4ac. Now I want to make a condition, I want to check if this thing, if this d, if you give us minus, if you give us plus, or if you give us what? If you give us minus, if you give us 0, and if you give us what? If you give us more than a 0. So if it's less than a 0, then you have an imaginary solution, which means you cannot get the answer. If it's 2, then you have what? If it's more than 0, it's bigger than 0, you have 2 real solutions, 2 answers. But if it's what is equals to 0, if your d is equals to 0, then you have what? 1 real solution, you have 1 answer. So when you're solving quadratic equation, when you check for this d first, you see that this thing is what is z. This is 1 answer I will get, this is my solution. That is what this thing means. I'm going to say 50 now. 50, then I'll make a condition. So if d is what? If it's less than 0, if it's less than 0, if this is less than 0, then print, what should you print? Print the discriminant. Okay, discriminant is, so I want to print discriminant self. Then d, this is my discriminant. Print discriminant d. Then so we have an imaginary solution. Imaginary solution. That is no answer. I will square it. So let me copy and paste this. I'll just change some little things there. Control C. So to save us time, Control V. Now if the d is equals to 0, then print this one. We have 1 real solution. That is 1 answer. Did I get it right? So next one, Control V. Now if I make it on 60, then print discriminant is what? If it's greater than what? It's greater than 0. Then print discriminant is 0. So we have 2 real solution. We have 2 real, just 2 answers. We have 2 real solution. That is 2 answers. 2 answers. So let me terminate this. Let me stop this. Terminate it. Terminate this also. If statements, terminate this also, and now terminate this also. So I can end my program, no problem. Shift. Okay, sorry. This one, there's a problem here. Everything should not be in quotes. It's only this. So I think I'm right now. Let's run this. Okay, what's wrong? Okay, 50-50 problem. You should have got used to this problem now. A, let's say my A. I want to manipulate something. Let me say A is 1, B is 4, B is 5. Say this one is minus 4. You can see. So we have imaginary solutions. Means when you have this quadratic, you have an s squared plus 4x plus 5. Just know that you will not get the answer for that quadratic equation, because you get discriminant minus 4. You will not find an answer to it. You get the square root of negative number. That's what this means. Do you understand that now? I think you understand that. So let me put another value. Let me say we have here, let's say we have 4, and B, let's say is minus 3, and C, let's say C is 5. See, this man is minus 7, so we have an imaginary. So let me use another one. Let me say that we have is equals to 0. So let me say 4 times 4 is 16. So let me use B to be 4 and A and C to be 1, 1. So that will give us imaginary. It give us is equals to 0. So let's say A is 1, B is 4, and C is 1. you should what? This one is 12, so we have two real solution. It means you have what? Your answer will be what? That is 2 answer, because it is what? It is 12. It is not equals to 0. Why is this? Is it 12? This one is, why is it 12? A? This thing is not 12. Oh. Let me check. A is 1, B is 4, and C is 1. How is it 12? It can't be 12 now. B squared, 4 times 4 is 16, minus 4 times 1 is 4, times 1. Oh, sorry. A should be 4. And I make A to be 4 and B to be 4. I should get, yeah. Thank you. So, my A and B to be 4, 4. Let's make it like that. A and B to be 4, 4, or any of them. A to be 4, B to be 4, and C to be 1. You get 0. Yeah. So we have, so the summa is 0. So we have one real solution, one answer. So if you solve this, you get what? This is it. This is how discriminant work. And let's now. Next thing we want to do now is we want to use our for statements. Now sometimes the school will say, okay, even numbers between 1 and 100, write them out for me. Can also use basic program to do this, or even numbers in 50, even numbers in 30, even numbers in 20. So 2, 4, 6, 8, all these things. We didn't think about how you can use basic to what to do this. So let's do it together. Now I'm gonna erase this. Don't need this again. If you're following, now this is where our program is going to get more complex now. Program to get the even numbers in a value or in a number. So even numbers in a number, then so what? Enter the number you want to. So what is going to be here is that I will enter what? Enter the unknown number. Let me put this one n as unknown number n. That is the number I want to look for, the even number of it. So any number you put there should go to find the even numbers in there, even in odd number also. So let me just I don't need all this code. Sorry for this delay. Now next one is that now I'm going to what? I will explain something to you now. Don't worry, never mind. So let me 20. We have 4 in iteration. Mostly I don't know why they use I, but mostly programmers use I a lot for iteration. Iteration means for counting. For counting, for all these things, iteration to start from somewhere to another place. Use I a lot, but it depends. You can use K, you can use B, anyone want to use, but they use I a lot. So just like a conventional method, but it doesn't mean. So if for I equals to, let me just use equals to 2 to n. That is what I'm saying, that start from 2, because even number always start from 2. Maybe 2, 4, 2. Any number that you put here from I to, let's say to, if I put 100 from I 2 to 100, you bring out the even numbers in it. So what I want to do, step 2. Use step is a keyword in basic. Step means skip it by 2. So when you start from 2, it should not move to 3. It should skip by 2 to be 2, 4, 6, 8 till it gets to this this end. Till it gets to this end. Any number you put here. If I put 30 till it gets to 30. So what else I want to do? So I will what? Next thing is what? 30. Let me print what? Let me print the I. Print I. This what is the value? 2, 4, 6. Then what I will do next is what? I will next I. I will go to the next number. After printing the first number, probably it's printed 2. Move to the next one. 4. Print 4. Move to when you get to next I. Let me show you now. Unknown number. Let me put 30. Let's look at all the even numbers. You can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So what this program does is that it will start from 2, then it will next it by 2. So it will move to 4. When it prints, it will print 2. After it print 2, it will now come back here to next to the next number. The next number is what? Is 4. It will next to 4. It will print what? It will print 4. Move to the next one, 6. If you don't put this next, it will only print 2 for you. I don't know why So let me remove this nest to show you what this thing means. So shift F5. You can see if you use for in basic, you must use nest. They are combined together. For nest, if something, if else, if then, all these things they are combined. You must use nest. If you don't use nest, then your program will what? You get an error in your program. So 40, you cannot nest what? Nest I. They are combined together. They must be used together. If not, if I use, maybe I use 100 here, I will get all the even numbers in what? In 100. If I want to get the odd number, what am I going to do? Which step am I going to use? I'm going to start from, if I use start from 1. So let me start from 1. What if I use step 2? I use step 2. I should be able to, let me just use 20 first. Let's see, odd number, yeah, you get the odd number. You can see all this now odd number. That is, if you divide it by 2, there will be a remainder. So that is how program works. Though now that is that under that. Then so let's now write a program to, it is getting more complex now. Let's write a program to compute multiplication table. Yeah, like if you want to like multiplication table 1 to 50, you can write that with basic. So let's move to work. So next thing, I'm gonna explain the code to you. Don't worry, it may look confusing to you, but don't worry. Now 10, so dimension dim. So dimension, I'm gonna use k as dimension, my dimension k2. Let me use 12 by 12, that is 12 rows and 12 column. I will explain what this means. Don't worry, never mind. No, 12 to 12. The next one we have 20. 4. So 4 for first is equals to 1 to 12. I want to start from 1. That is the first line, the first row. Now 30 for second. That is second. That one is the column. Is equals to the same thing, 1 to 12. Okay, 40. I can now say what? K. This is my k. This dimension k now. I will explain it to you. Don't panic. So k is first times second. Then next one, 50. 50. I can now what? I can print k. Let me print k on my screen. Print k. You have used for, you have to use nest. I told you earlier. That one is num. So we can say 16. We've used nest what? Nest. Let me nest what? Second. The column first. Then I'll nest what? Then print 70 to be a line in between them, an empty line. Then 80. If not, it will all combine together. Then nest what? Nest first. Then I can now what? I can end my program. End program. So let's run this together. Oh my god, what is this giving us? It combines together, it's joined together. This is not what I want. This is not what I want. There's a bug somewhere. So print k next second. Okay, print next first. Next first. Print next second. Next first, then end. This thing is not printing as I want it. Okay, let me put something here. Let's check. Okay, now we're done. This is it. This is a multiplication table. You can see 1 times 1, 1, 1 times 2, 2, 1 times 3, 3, 1 times 4, 4, 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 2, 4, 2 times 3, 6, 2 times 4, 8, 2 times 5, 10, 2 times 6, 12. The same thing. So T12, when you move this thing here, when you click here, you will see it, then 11, it stops at 12. So this, we can multiply the table of 100. Now let me explain the code to you. Now what this does is that dimension means rows and column. Like if I type something like this, sorry, if I type 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, another one, let's say we have 8, 7, 8, 9, 0. Then we have 1, 2, 4, 5. Now this is, what kind of dimension is this one? This is as what? How many rows? 1, 2, 3. This is 3 by how many column? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 3 by 5 column. So the dimension is 3, 5. Do you understand? That is what I did. I mean, I want 12 rows. I just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then at the bottom also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So next one is that from first, that is 1 to 12. Normal, we did 1 to 12. 1 to 12, that is start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Second also, 1 to 12 also. Now I'm using this scale. Now the dimension here, I'm replacing it with what? 1 to 12. Then the second one also is what? 1 to 12. I'm replacing dimension here. So this is, I'm now multiplying them 1 times 1. The second one, 1 times 2, 1 times 3, 1 times 4. That's how it does it, one after the other. Then print scale. Print scale means I want a line in between them so that they will be in orderly manner. Adding comma to it makes it in orderly manner. That is, they will not be jam-packed, they will not be fused together. That is what this does. Then you have to nest. I told you how to nest the what? Nest a second. Print a line between them also. That for the gap also, for the column, then you nest what? You nest what? You nest first. So this is how this works. So that is that under this one. And the next one now we're going to look at is what? Is what? How to find the factorial of a number. So what is factorial? Factorial means, for example, I said find the factorial. In calculator, when you put something like this in calculator, you have 6 like this in calculator. This is what it will give you. It will give you 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Especially for that math student, permutation and combination, we use these things a lot. So it means my 6 factorial, this means factorial in calculator. 6 times 5, 30. 30 times 4 is 120. 120 times 3 is 360. 3 times 2 is 720. 720 times 1 is 720. So the answer for this thing will be 720. So how can we do this also in basic programming? So let's go together. So when can say program to find the factorial of a number. So next thing is what? 20. Input is what? Input, then enter the unknown number. So enter the unknown number, input space to make it readable. N, unknown number. You can use N or X, anything you want to use. Now next one is that what? My iteration. So I can say 30. I equals to 1. Start from 1. That is what it means. So I can say 20 k. I can say for k equals to I to n. But if you don't want to use this one, I is equals to 1, I can come here. I can say from I equals to 1 to n. Instead of writing this, if you don't want to declare it like this, no problem. So remove this, it will also work. From I is equals to 1, that's from 1 to this n. What do you want to do next? You know you have used for, so I will now say my I. Let me change this one to 30, 40. I said what? My I is equals to I times what? I times I. You can use that. So I times what? Best thing is that let's declare a number to start with first, so that we not make mistake here. I will explain what it means now. I can say I equals to 1. Now for k, let me say k here. From k goes to I to 1 to n. I to n. I can now say, what am I going to do now? I equals to, I can say I times k. Then 50 next k. Next k. Then what next is what? You print what? 60. Print. I will explain this code to you. No problem. So unknown number, like I said, 6. We use 6 there now. 720. You can see it gives us 720. Now, what is this thing saying now? First thing is that you know how to get this one now. So that is start your iteration from 1. For k to now go 1 to n, that is any number you type here is the first thing you print 1, that 1 to n. First one is 1. Next one is this, next 2, next 3. If what you put here is 6 now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what you display. Now, next one now is that it will now, what will now happen that this I now, first one will be 1 times, no, k is now 1. The first time you implement it, k is 1. That will be 1 times 1. Because that's 1 times anything that is k, 1. Then it will, next will now go again to 2. To be what? Next one will what? After that is 2 times what? If you enter 6 here, It will be, first one will be what? 6 times, because your is 1 to n is 1. That's 1 times 1. Then next one, now go back again to what? After next one is what? Is what they call it? Is a after 6, from 1 to 6, it means we have what do you call it? We have 5. That is 1 times 6, 5 times 1 is 5. Then 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's how it goes. So we're multiplying 1 to it, 1 to it, 1 to it, 1 to it to get the final answer. That's how it works here. So your I is 1. So your I will be multiplied 1 times the first one, 1 times 1, 1 times 2, 1 times 3, 1 times 4, 1 times 5, 1 times 6. So it's now multiply, because we are using times, it's now multiply all of them together. So that's how you get 720. So assuming I want to add now, what I'll just use as what? I'll just put what? I'll just put plus there. So let's say I want to add number from, let me just use 1. Let me just use 6 here. You can see it's 20. What this one is doing here is that, what is doing that, you got to is what? 6 plus 5 plus, what is doing is that we have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 6. As 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 plus 5 is 15, 15 plus 6, 15 plus 6 is what? 21. 1 plus 2, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21. So when I put here now, let me make this one WHEN, because you understand how this thing works. WHEN. If it's 1. Okay, let me make it 6 here. 22. So is all that, what is doing? 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 5, 15, 15 plus 6 is what? So that is what, 22, if I'm right. Or am I right? Am I wrong? So let's move. Okay, the first one, no, the first one is 1 here. So 1 also will be added. I think it's 21. So 1, the first one, that 1 will be there here. So what we here have what? 1 plus. So that will be 1 plus, because there's a 1. You initially start from 1. Then next one now move to what? Now move to 1 also. 1, 2, normal iteration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2. Then you have to, if it's times now, to be 1 times, times, then this one times, then you have what? You have times here. Then this one will be what? Will also be what? Also be what? Times. Then this also be what? Also be what? Times. Then this also be what? So be what? Times. So what is in here is I have what? 1 times 1, that is 1. 1 times 2, 2. 1 times 3, 3. 1 times 4, 4. 1 times 5, 5. It will not much. There will be 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 times 5 is what is 120? 120 times 5 times 6 is not 720. Yeah. So that's what we do. That 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 4, 24. 24 times 5 is 120. 120 times 6 is what? 720. Something like that. So this is how we want it to multiply one after the other. So this is how factorial works. Now also, if you want to count, let's say I want to count from 1 to 1 million, 1 to 100, anything. You can also use normal something like this for counting. So for counting, we can use for counting. Let's say you want to count from now is it most you can counting is very easy now. Just 1 to n, then next you just be nesting the next one, next to next, the next 4. That one is very easy to count. Then I think the next number now you are going to what? You are going to look for how to what? For this plus now, if I'm using plus here, I have to make this one 0 so that it will be easier for me. So if I want this thing here, so if I count, if I'm counting, let's say I want to 6 now, I want to add them, it's 21. Do you get that now? So 0 plus any number, I will see that number. That's it. If I'm counting. If I'm adding up, I will not use 1. If I use 1, 1 will also be added to it. That is how addition works. But if it's multiplication, you cannot see 0. Because 0 times any number will give us 0. If I turn this to times, my answer will be 0. But even if I type on the 1 million, it will be 0. I will not get the answer because 0 times any number is what? Is 0. That is the reason why you get an error in this one. What is wrong? It's basic misbehaving. Okay, so that is that under that one. So let's now move on now. Next thing is that I want to calculate, this is the last part. I want to calculate the gross wages regarding number of hours spent. Like for example now, if probably you are paid, like all these casual workers, you are paid based on like in the US you are paid based on hours you work. Maybe every week we've worked for 5 hours, there's a particular rate, fixed rate, that is charged for working a particular hour. So if you work for that hour, then they are going to multiply. So to know the amount you get at the end of the week for the wages, if you are 10 in number, if you are 20 in number, we can do that also with what program. So program to calculate the gross wages of workers regarding the number of hours spent. Now we have, then next one is what, 20, your input. So input, then enter the what, the fixed rate. It can be 2, it can be, depends on the rate, the fixed rate, again semicolon R as the fixed rate. Then we are counting from how many maybe you want to get for like 10 workers. Is it for what? For I, iteration for I is equals to 0 to what? First one to what? To 10. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, normal. Then 40, we have what? Input. Then what do you want to enter the number of hours worked, right? Input now be what? Enter the number of hours worked, semicolon, space, semicolon, hours worked. Then 50 gross wage is equals to, that is the rate times what, the hours worked. So hours, h times what? Times rate. Times rate. Then 60, let's print what? Let's print our gross wage. So you can say print the gross wage is semicolon, then gross wage. Now next what? Since we have used 4, you have to nest what? You have to nest them. Small man, you have to nest I. Since you have used, so nest what? Nest I. Just to move to the next on our next worker. So let me put this. Now let's say the fixed rate is, let's say it's 2. Number of hours work, let's say the number of hours work, you work for about 24 hours. No, let's say you work for 16 hours in a day, or let's say you have for 8 hours. So you can see the first one, the gross wage is what? Is 0. Number of hours work, let's say this work, you have what? You have 7. 0. Oh my bad, there was a mistake somewhere. I told you earlier, this thing is 0. What kind of mistake is that? Come on. So we have what? We have enter the rate. Let's say the rate is 6. Hours work, let's say the hours work, we work for like 6 hours. You get this? The gross wage is 0. Enter the number of hours work. Why? 7. The gross wage is 0. Hey. Something is wrong. What is wrong with our program? Gross wage h times r rates. Enter the fixed rate for I 0 1 to 10. Input, enter the number of hours worked. Okay. Gross wage. Oh my god. Basic. Wow. So let's run this. Let's say we have 5 number of hours worked. Let's say you work for like 8 hours. You can see it's 40. 5 times 8, 40. To continue till you get to 10th person. Let's say 4. You can see 4. It hasn't the number of hours worked, so it's multiplying that. This one at 4 times 5, 20. 8 times 5, 40. If you work for 9 hours, this is what you get. If you work for 3 hours, so till it stop at 10. So you can stop now and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 workers. So to continue calculating their gross wage. So this is it under basic programming. There are a lot of things you can still do with basic programming. It's just the basic. If I continue writing, in fact, it will take us 2 days to go into deep in basic programming. And basic programming is an old programming language, but it's kind of force you to do things in the right way. If you have been programming basic programming and you have been encountering bugs, you've been solving it on your own, believe me, other programming language will be very easy for you to debug the code, the bug in it, because they will always give you where the bug is and what actually causes the bug. But basic will just tell you that this line of code, this particular line, there's a bug there, there's an error there, but it will not tell you what the error is. So you have to know how to fix the error by yourself. It is used, that's why I said it's beginners. So once beginners understand how basic programming works, other programming language will be very easy. And shout out to Dr. Morino and Dr. Adeleke. I use on their books, Basic of Computing, to get some knowledge on basic programming and some online research I made on my own. They are a great scholar, and I hope God will give you more strength and more knowledge to impart knowledge on students. Great lecture on Lagos State University of Education. Beautiful. So please subscribe to my channel. It's not easy for this house with you. Please subscribe to my channel. Refer your friends, share. Our next work, thinking of doing web development, basic of web development like HTML and CSS. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.